Talk. I am your host, Minister Robinson, and as always, so very excited that you are here. We've got a lot to cover today. We really do have a lot to cover today. I truly believe that it has all led up to this. We've talked a lot over the last couple of weeks about warfare in general, planets just like littered with all of these conflicts. We've talked about spiritual warfare, something that is very important as far as our duties, our job description is as chosen ones. We have to always deal with spiritual conflict. I was very, very happy with the offering that we had about Moses, because it kind of dealt with in a warfare, how we feel about certain things. Now, inner warfare takes on many different levels because at the end of the day, although we may be chosen ones or star seeds, we actually are still human beings, sentient beings put on this realm. And we still have so many things that we deal with. Some of those things actually boil down to, as Moses experienced, a lack of faith. Okay. Very important, lack of faith. Faith is, and I don't want to use this term rudely, but it's kind of magical. Okay. Faith is based on our inner beliefs, our inner compass, our inner thoughts. When we subscribe to a higher power and or the universe, that is based on nothing but faith. Okay. As chosen ones and star seeds, we do know and understand there is a power that is higher than us, that is directing things that happen to us, that happen within us. And many of these things we tend to look at as being tests because, in a sense, they do make us more resilient. They do make us stronger. They do make us, as I like to say, bigger, better, faster, and stronger. However, we have always been given this thing called free will, the ability to make choices and decisions on our own, whether they be good or bad. As chosen ones and star seeds, we know and understand that we can always, if we find that we have made a bad choice or a bad decision, we always have the capability to go back. Well, not really go back, go forward and correct those bad choices, those bad decisions, thereby giving us another lesson. What are some of the things that we constantly and consistently deal with, not only as chosen ones, but as human beings, as sentient beings? We have, the elephant in the room. If you have a day job, you have to deal with the complexities that actually comes with dealing with people, okay, that you may or may not know, that you may or may not have a background with, that you may or may not even, like, okay, but you've got to get through that 8 or 12-hour shift or whatever those shifts may be so that you can get your reward at the end of the week, which turns out to be a paycheck. So we sometimes just navigate through that day with a smile on our face, even though deep down inside we're conflicted, we're angry. Why am I here? Does this resonate with you? I need to go find another job, but this job pays, just the right amount of money that I need with just the right amount of work sprinkled in. This has to resonate with you. So we find ourselves once again battling an inner demon. You go through, and I told you this story, you go through that time period where you're hitting snooze until the snooze button doesn't work anymore. You're sitting up doing everything besides getting ready for work. I've gone through this, okay? And this is something that you have to wrestle with in it. And it doesn't change until you go and say, hey, listen, I can't do this anymore. Let me go ahead and get rid of this thing that is weighing me down. Let me at least go find another job, or let me go ahead and start that business I've always dreamt of. We have other things that we deal with our personal relationships, our close-knit relationships, not the work relationships, but our close-knit relationships, with our family, with our close friends, with our mates, with our spouses. We have these conflicts, and they are going to happen. They have no choice but to happen, because hopefully, unless you're breaking many different laws, not only moral but legally, if this is not a family member, if this is not someone you've grown up with, that you've been able to see the little things that make them tick, that the way that they think, okay, you're dealing with two different mindsets. And the best thing that can happen, is that these mindsets converge and blend and actually get themselves on the same path. But anything worth having actually takes work. It really does. Another reason why I came up with this, because I'm a movie buff, okay, and I was watching this movie. It's on Hulu. I would really suggest that you watch it. It's called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. It's an inspired story about Mr. Rogers. This is going to resonate with you. Everybody remembers Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was like what many thought was like the perfect human being. He didn't let anything upset him. He didn't, he always had a good word, always had a smile. However, the story was not so much about Mr. Rogers. And I'm not going to give you guys a spoiler alert, okay, because it's not needed. I really suggest that you sit down and watch it. It was about how this man dealt with his inner demons, the conflicts, the things that were going on in his life, as he tried to ascend to having a better life. We oftentimes hold on to grudges for no reason whatsoever. We just refuse to move on. We just want to deal with this grudge, because this, in a sense, the battle within, because we know deep down inside, hey, listen, maybe I should just let this just stop. It serves me no purpose whatsoever. And we see in this character, as the anger is building within him, he is fighting his own battle. People on the peripheral or within the circumference understand what's going on. However, this is this man's personal battle. I'm not talking about Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, I don't think he ever had a battle. But this is this individual's personal battle. And as I watched the movie, it kind of hit home. I'm like, we all go through this. We think that we are doing the right thing. We think by holding on to this negativity within ourselves, that is just being recycled and is slowly growing, just until it, like a volcano, just reaches the top and erupts. We think that this is the way that we are supposed to lead our lives. We think it adds that spice, that excitement to life. And who is to tell you? Because people have been doing this for eons. These are our personal demons. I'm not talking about lower vibrational beings. I'm not talking about the negativity that exists in this world. I'm talking about the negativity that exists within ourselves. That we have to find a way to balance it out. It will never completely go away. We, unlike Mr. Rogers, are not perfect human beings. I'm not saying that Mr. Rogers is a perfect human being, but we have to find ways to deal with these conflicts, because in a sense, it weakens us. It weakens us on all levels. It weakens us on all fronts. We have a duty to fulfill. We have directives all day long, just like Moses, just like Jonah. We've got these freaking directives. And we are told we have to carry them out. And like my aunt would say, hey, listen, this is the freaking directive. I need you to take care of it. Oh, you're having problems? Regrettably, I don't have time to put you on the couch in front of me and discuss and help you get rid of your problems. As my aunt would say, deal with it, because this is what needs to be done. So many figures in all religious texts have dealt with this. They've had no choice to deal. It builds character, yes, but does it feel good along the way? As we sit down and we literally wrestle with our personal demons. When you have a soldier, okay, soldier comes back from leave and, he's had a great time. He's partied with all his friends and they've gone to the bar and they've drunk as much as they can drink because everybody's happy. He comes back to base and he says, hey, listen, we got a code red. We got to get this done. Do you think the person that has given this directive really cares about what you did the night before? Or are they more concerned with the mission? He's probably going to be told, hey, go to medical, see what they can give you, but I need you front and center and ready to go at 0930. We bring a lot of this on ourselves because we still have a mindset that is developing. I see it all the time, relationships that had the most promise in the world. People like, hey, listen, I'm going to bet on them. They're going to make it 50, 60, 70 years. Hell, I've been in those situations. Hey, this is absolutely perfect, but something breaks, something goes wrong. And then what happens is when it breaks, when it goes wrong, we're still trying to get the machine going without figuring out how to fix that part. We have to figure out how to fix that part because what's going to happen is just going to keep on grinding and grinding and grinding until the whole mechanism just breaks. And that mechanism is you. What are some of the things that we constantly deal with when we have inner warfare? The battle that sees within us. What are some of those things? As I mentioned before, a lack of faith. We seem to tend to come back, and this is always, I'm going to tell you over and over again, this is always nothing more than ego. Where we decide that what we should do as chosen ones, as starseeds, what is better for the plan. How do we come to these conclusions? Are we not pushing our faith aside? And then that starts a vicious cycle of inner warfare. Because you know what you're doing. You're questioning your faith. You're questioning, and that just starts the vicious cycle going forward. Why am I questioning my faith? However, you go and say, hey, you should question your faith because, hey, listen, I don't agree with this. Come on, does this really make sense to you? I never wake up in the morning as I'm giving thanks to the fact that I am awake. I may be rustling and bustling and running around trying to get stuff done. However, in the back of my mind, my faith is always there. Because I know and understand that this mechanism, this thing all around us has been moving before I was even thought of, before that 4 trillion to 1 event actually happened, before I hit this realm. With no assistance from me whatsoever. So, with that being said, I need to have faith. If you believe in a higher power, you have to understand before you hit this realm, everything moved in accordance. Even the fact that there have been chosen ones. This was the importance of me discussing Moses and Jonah last week. Because we find this lack of faith. We found 2 individuals who were tasked. They were told, this is what you need to do. Now, the person that has complete faith would just go and do it. I believe that my higher power or the universe knows exactly what they are doing. What we witnessed was inner warfare, a lack of faith. I think Moses was probably the last person that would actually have a sit-down talk with their higher power, even though via burning bush, would be the last individual on this realm to actually get one-on-one services. Because it was a lesson to be learned for all of us. all of us that think on a positive level. If you have faith, if your faith is within you, if you believe in something with all of your heart, with all of your being, there should be no question, thereby ending that inner conflict. If you want to look at the personal side of it, the relationship side of it, I'm going to tell you something. Yes, I often say, let go of what no longer serves you, but there's a second part to that. If it is important to you, if it is something that you feel as a chosen one, as a starseed, as a positive individual, that is actually something that can be salvaged, something that can be saved, you can always come back and revisit that at a later time. You will find that you need to get rid of everything that does not coincide with your duty as a chosen one. And if you decide to have inner conflict or inner warfare about the removal, hence we go back to the front of the ranch, of lack of faith, it will be removed for you. Free will is a funny thing. Free will, I think, is the universe's little private joke. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, or your higher power's personal joke, to see how we actually react with what is given to us. I'm going to stop and read this quote. I always take down a bunch of quotes. You know me. You know this guy. This comes from Psalms 18, verse 6, and this is said by Moses. It says, "In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears." That basically says the thing that I have been saying. When we find ourselves in the midst of spiritual warfare, when we find ourselves in the midst of inner warfare, there is this one thing that comes, that one band-aid that works, and it works every time, is to stop, slow down, and pray and or meditate. Because what you are saying to your higher power and or the universe will be heard. Everything happens in divine timing. I'm never going to sit here and tell you that the being that controls all that is around us, that keeps everything moving forward, is going to stop what they're doing, drop, and say, hey, listen, let me just go ahead and fix this problem right now for them. I've also said this many a time. We are given the tools that are needed. You know, I put up a meme or a video or whatever, I don't know, a reel, and it basically said when we go to school, okay, we learn the lesson, you know, that we are taught. You know, the teacher sits down, gives you all this stuff, and then you take a test, you know, and this will dictate whether you understand the concept or not. Our higher power and or the universe seems to do it the opposite way. We take the test first, and then we learn the lesson. This is how things are oftentimes presented to ourselves. They're given to us in this format of, well, you need this. You're saying you need help with this. Let me present you with a test. Thereby, you will walk away with the most valuable lesson ever. And that within itself is a beautiful thing. You know, let me see. I have another quote, and I think this quote is so very important. And it comes from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And it says, life is a struggle, and the greatest obstacle in our path is ourselves. Farrakhan has said so many things that if you just repeat it to yourself, sometimes it's like, that makes sense. That really makes sense. We, due to our constant battling within ourselves, constant fighting off these inner demons, we find that we are standing in our own way. Think about that thing that I mentioned before, that grudge that doesn't really serve you. You might feel good about the actions that you are taking. You might actually feel like you are doing the right thing. But let me ask you a very relevant and a very, I guess, soul-searching question. How is this grudge serving you? How is it helping you along the way? How is it making you a bigger, better, stronger person? I'm not saying that I don't go through this. I go through this stuff constantly. I do. But I have started to implement ways that I can make it go away. Because I know and understand it's not really serving me a purpose. Sometimes I just like have the dumb look on my face. I'm like in the middle of what would seem like I'm in conflict with another individual or another person, and something will stop. They'll just shut the door in ego, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? How is this helping me? How is this helping me accomplish the things that I want to accomplish? How is this helping me become a better chosen one? How is this helping me actually do my job description? And sometimes I will just walk away, not from the conflict that is happening in front of me that involves maybe 1, 2, or even 3 or multiple persons. I will just walk away from the conflict that is burning deep down inside of me. I start off the week with no excess stress. Can you not agree that this brings nothing but excess stress? Something that we don't need when we find ourselves fighting not only the world all around us, we are trying to beat these negative, lower vibrational beings back into their place. Yet and still we got some of them living right inside of us. Sometimes the easiest way for everybody involved is just to forgive. Just forgive. Forgive and forget the slight. Before I went through this journey, this awakening, I sometimes would say, hey, I'm going to give my all to human nature, and I'm going to always just try to be that better person. Again, the test to teach me the lesson. I'm always going to be that better person and just go out there and forgive and forget. Kind of find out people tend to take advantage of that. They really do. It's like, oh yeah, I can just do that. They're just going to forgive me, because that's, they try to live this different life. And does this resonate with you? So this is my prime time to take advantage of this person. Yeah, you go ahead and forgive and forget, and I'm just going to keep on walking over you. But at the same time, it does bring, at that moment when you forgive and forget, it does bring a sense of peace. And you have to always ask, what's more important? You defeating and vanquishing the demons that live within you, or someone feeling that they won? What's more important to you? As Mobb Deep said in their song, there's a war going on outside. But nobody's paying on to the war that's going on inside. I'm going to be transparent here. I have dealt with moments, many a moment, a whole lot of moments. I have really dealt with so many things in my life that have weakened me. And in a sense, I still will. It's part of that whole testing, a lesson that I need to learn. I have dealt with so many things that have literally brung me down to my knees, to what I used to consider my lowest points. And this is before I began to understand. This is before I began to awaken and understand that, hey, this was a test. Therefore, it was a lesson. And I look back at many of my choices. I do. I look back. I'm one of those people that kind of say to myself constantly, did I really learn anything from this? There have been times where I have laid for days at a time in a fetal bowl. There have been times where I have really questioned the fact of, do I need intervention? Do I need help? There have been times that I have, wondered, hey, listen, I've just been doing constantly the wrong thing. How do I get through this? And every time, I've always had a belief in the universe, and just like you probably always had a belief in your higher power, And I have found often that meditation actually helped me, and in your case, if you believe in a higher power, prayer, it helped me get through those rough patches. Some people who just don't believe in anything, they call that self-therapy, and I don't really care what it is. It got me through it. It really got me through it. As I awakened, I felt there were so many different things that were thrust upon me that, and I'm going to be honest, I felt was unfair. I felt I don't deserve this. This is not right. This is really, really uncool. Why do I have to go through this? We ask ourselves, this is going to resonate with you. We always ask that question, why me? Well, if it's going on inside of you, why not you? Why should you be able to pass that pain that you can't even deal with on your own? I'm experiencing that right now in a roundabout way. I have a lower vibrational being, entity, a demon in my life that they are going through their personal trials and tribulations. I get it. You're going through what you're going through. I get it. I can only be sympathetic and empathetic because I too have gone through my personal problems and things. But this is what keeps you in the state of being a lower vibrational being. They do this thing where I like to call it, they pass the pain. See, they don't seek help. They don't want anybody to help them because that's ego. They don't want to try to find a way to do that thing that I talked about, self-therapy, because once again, that's ego. What they want to do is they want to find as many people, almost like, and I hate to keep on bringing up the Matrix, like Agent Smith did in Matrix 2, Matrix Reloaded, where he would just touch an individual and pass his essence, all of the anger, all of the hate, all of the bad feelings that he had from Neo into this new individual. And this individual would begin to mirror him. And this is what we do constantly. We pass the hate. We pass the pain. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with it on our own. So we do like Agent Smith did. We go out there and we just pass it on. As he said in the movie, me, me, me. If that is not the end all be all statement of ego, I don't know what it is. We have so much that we have to deal with. And Chosen Ones and Starseeds, I am grateful for you. I thank you. And as I said earlier, I'm honored to be a part of this family. I am honored to have you to call my brothers and sisters. Honored. But at the same time, we deal with so much. It doesn't make us less of a person. What makes us less of a person is how we deal with our inner demons, how we sit them down, if only for a moment so that we can have clarity of thought. Buddha once said, conquer anger with love, evil with good, and greed with generosity. We conquer evil with love. Again, some of these concepts intertwine. We have to actively participate in loving ourselves. Just like light will dispel the darkness, love will always dispel evil. It will always dispel evil because love is the one thing that evil can't deal with. It's like, what? Man, you had to bring the love into the equation? Dang, now I got to pack up my bags and go someplace else. And by spreading love as chosen ones and star seeds and positive living and loving individuals, as we spread this love, we start to weaken and make evil just like dissipate, just like that fog. After a while, once the light comes and shines on that fog seems to just fade away. We are going to find so many things going on in our lives that basically become like shackles on our ankles. We always will. It's part of this universe, but I bring you back to the front of the ranch. That personal joke that the universe and our higher powers seem to have bestowed upon us. Free will. We decide what's going to hold us back. We decide what is going to weigh us down. Nobody else. We. And it's all due to our choices. We have to begin to have the courage, the resilience, the strength to decide that we are going to face our inner demons. And this is going to resonate with you. Oh, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to put that over there. It didn't go anyplace. You didn't actively resolve the issue. You're going to have to actively resolve the issue. Sitting it in the back of the room doesn't make it go away. It just makes it have the ability to gather more strength so that when it does sneak back up to the forefront of your life, it is that much stronger. We have to excise these demons. Get them away from us. Be gone. Out of my life. I have no time for it. We grow each and every day. And the trajectory of that growth is dependent on how we deal with the inner turmoil, the inner battles, the things that are going on in our lives. That sometimes, admittedly, bring us sadness. Sometimes they bring us anger. Sometimes they bring us grief. All of the emotions that we really don't have time to deal with. Besides prayer and meditation being my go-to, one of the things that we can do, and this is, if you believe in a higher power, and you if you practice your belief by going to church, temple, or synagogue, on whatever day services are held, I'm going to tell you something. This is what your religious leaders or those put in power to give you messages are there for. If you are going through turmoil, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, listen, after service, can I speak to you for a second? I'm going through something. My faith may be faltering. I'm going through an emotional problem. I'm going through a relationship problem. I'm going through a life problem. This is what they are here for. This is always an option to you. This is another reason why I am trying to get us all together physically in a location where we can actually be of assistance to each other. I understand that it's hard, and I'm the same way. I'm not going to lie. sometimes if I don't know who I'm talking to, who I'm sharing these deep, dark, inner thoughts with, sometimes I'll just pull back. Again, meditation, that's my go-to. I will just pull back because I don't know if I'm talking to a low vibrational being and they will take what I have given them and use that against me. I don't know. But if you have faith in your higher power and you have faith in the person that they have placed in front of you every time that you go to this place of worship, this is what they are here for. This is what they are here for. I pause because I'm thinking, I'm like, I've got to find a way. I've got to create this physical location, this church. This is all that I think about because of situations like this. This will resonate with you. You may have a few in your tribe that are trusted, that are on the same page, that you may even sense are starting to awaken, that you can speak to, that you can divulge the inner workings of you too without fearing that they will be used as a weapon against you. This is why we need this. This is this highlights, this service highlights that point. There have been so many times, and this will resonate with you, where I really, really needed someone to talk to. Where I really, really needed someone that I could trust. When I really needed someone who would, just like as a child that's going through something, someone would hold my hand, not saying that I'm a child, not saying that you're a child, but that feeling that you get when someone holds your hand and listens to you and says everything is going to be okay and we are going to get through this. Isn't that what we all seek at the end of the day? That's not a free pass to ignore the issues, the inner demons that are trying to gain a foothold onto your soul. That is not the purpose that I'm saying this, but it is a good feeling. Right now, many of us being chosen ones in star seeds and those awakening, we come to that isolation stage where we're saying to ourselves, yeah, I'm all alone in this. However, I do have my higher power and or the universe. Yes, that is enough. That, for most intents and purposes, is enough. It should be enough. But at the end of the day, we are still human. We still crave love. We still crave affection. We still crave understanding. We still crave empathy. Doesn't that resonate with you? When we are fighting these demons, I watch a lot of movies. I really do watch a lot of movies. I can't hide that fact, When you watch movies that deal with exorcism, one of the things that always happens is the person that is being controlled by a low vibrational being. They always, I've never seen a movie where this does not happen. They have always tried to reach out and let those around them know something is wrong. I can't put my hand on it, but something is wrong. This is how we as human beings, we want assistance. Sometimes we cry out for help. Sometimes we want, besides our higher power, and this is not a lack of faith, is for the moment to know that we are loved and someone has our best interest in mind. That is a good feeling. That is not a selfish feeling because as chosen ones, that's what we constantly do. We go out there and let the world know that, hey, listen, I don't care what else is going on. I am chosen. I am starseed. I am at the bare minimum a positive individual. And I'm here to let you know that there is someone that has your best interest in mind. Isn't that insane? Something that small. This is why, I took the long way around this, but this is why we have to dominate and vanquish the personal demons that go on within us. It makes us stronger. It makes us resilient. It makes us so that we can truly, truly go out there and be of assistance to those that have not reached the level that we have reached. That level of understanding. The word itself, understanding. Understanding what others are going through. Understanding what others are wrestling with. As I said, as I started this sermon, not going to get rid of it 100%. It's not going to happen. But besides the test and just dealing with human beings in general, it's not going to happen. You're not going to hit that 100% grade. But I'm going to tell you something. We can come really, really close if we put our minds to it. If we decide that this is important to us, we will make the time to excise most of these demons that we've been carrying around with us for, you name a year. On this Sunday, that's what I want you to begin thinking about. How can I get rid of some of these demons? Some will be super easy to vanquish. Some of them will. And you'll ask yourself, what the heck have I been carrying around this for so long? And some of them will take a lot of work. But it's up to you. That thing, free will. You have to make the choice that you want to be the best possible version of yourself. You have to decide that. No one else can do that for you. At all. Whatsoever. Go out there, get rid of your demons. Get rid of as many as possible. Help other people get rid of their demons. That's your job description anyway. You know. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this. I think this was important. And yes, go ahead and watch that movie, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I think you will gain many insights as to what we have discussed today with that movie. I think it's such a well done movie. If you have, I think it's on Hulu. I'm almost positive it's on Hulu, and it stars Tom Hanks. And it's not a shameless plug. It's not an advertising thing. I just really think that it's something. Sometimes we visualize, and you know what we're watching starts to open up different pathways in our minds. And art always tends to do that for me. You know, the ability to see something and say, wow, that was really deep. I think I've been that way since the first time I saw The Matrix. I was like, wow, maybe I should see that again. And again. And again. But yeah, go ahead and watch that. We are still, again, I'm going to bring us back to the front of the ranch. We are still trying to have meet and greets, stuff like that. And you know what? Even though we do give services, it's not about a collection plate thing. I always want people to gain value from, you know, anything that they give of themselves. So we did open up a digital shop, payhip.com/red. I think it's in the links in the details of the channel. Get yourself something that you feel will benefit you. You know, if you find nothing that benefits you, don't worry about it. But yeah, you know, every purchase helps us get that much closer to our goal. I want to go out there. Like I said, I want to set up these meet and greets. I want to get what is needed, what is necessary to actually build a physical location where we can sit down and be of assistance to each other. You know, I understand the whole, you know, isolation ritual, but again, there is a way that we can always be of assistance, not only to those that we're tasked to be of assistance to, but we can be of assistance to each other. And I think I'm doing the right thing. I don't think that I'm going against the universe or a higher power by saying this. I think it just makes the family stronger and more resilient, knowing that, you know, our way, our mindset of viewing the world around us, that we're sitting amongst a room full of those that have been chosen. You know. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me right here at Church of Real Talk for Inner Warfare. All comments greatly appreciated. Ways that you are dealing with inner warfare or dealing with your inner demons, please leave it in the comments. Always important because it helps others. And if you don't have like if you maybe you're like me, you believe in the universe, so you know we don't get a physical location just yet where we can actually commune and do things that people that have high powers do, like go to a temple or a church or a synagogue, you know, once a week. You know, I'm always there for you. I'm always there for you. So it's just a matter of you leaving a comment or clicking on the detail pages of the channel or sending me an email so that I can be of assistance to you, because at the end of the day, that is why I do this, because my goal, my journey, my path is to be of assistance. With that being said, Church of Real Talk, make sure you join us every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for live services. If you're new here, you probably don't know this, but if you've been around for a while, you already do know this. Hey, love you guys.